Grabbing the duvet from the spare bed, I had to keep vigil. Something. Shit. It's Christian in the foyer. I hear the table scrape across the floor again. Shit. He repeats, more muffled this time. I scramble up in time to see him stagger through the double doors. He's drunk. My scalp prickles. Shit. Christian drunk? I know how much he hates drunks. I leap up and run toward him. Christian, are you okay? He leans against the jam of the foyer doors. Mrs. Gray. He slurs. Crap. He's very drunk. I don't know what to do. Oh, you look mighty fine, Anastasia. Where have you been? He puts his finger to his lips and smiles crookedly at me. Shh. I think you'd better come to bed. With you? He snickers. Snickering? Frowning, I gently put my arm around his waist because he can hardly stand, let alone walk. Where has he been? How did he get home? Let me help you to bed. Lean on me. You are very beautiful, Anna. He leans on me and sniffs my hair, almost knocking both of us over. Christian, walk. I'm going to put you to bed. Okay, he said, as if he's trying to concentrate. We stumble down the corridor and finally make it to the bedroom. Bed, he says, grinning. Yes, bed. I maneuver him to the edge, but he holds me. Join, he says. Christian, I think you need some sleep. And so it begins. I've heard about this. I frown. Heard about what? Babies mean no sex. I'm sure that's not true. Otherwise, we'd all come from one-child families. He gazes down at me. You're funny. You're drunk. Yes. He smiles, but his smile changes as he thinks about it, and a haunted expression crosses his face, a look that chills me to the bone. Come on, Christian, I say gently. I hate his expression. It speaks of horrid, ugly memories that no child should see. Let's get you into bed. I push him gently, and he flops down onto the mattress, sprawling in all directions and grinning up at me, his haunted expression gone. Join me, he slurs. Let's get you undressed first. He grins widely, drunkenly. Now you're talking. Holy cow. Drunk Christian is cute and playful. I'll take him over mad as hell Christian anytime. Sit up. Let me take your jacket off. The room is spinning. Shit. Is he going to throw up? Christian, sit up. He smirks up at me. Mrs. Gray, you are a bossy little thing. Yes, do as you're told and sit up. I put my hands on my hips. He grins again, juggles up onto his elbows, and sits up in a most un-Christian-like gawky fashion. Before he can flop down again, I grab his tie and wrestle him out of his gray jacket, one arm at a time. You smell good. You smell of hard liquor. Yes. Bourbon. He pronounces the syllables with such exaggeration that I have to stifle a giggle. Discarding his jacket on the floor beside me, I make a start on his tie. He rests his hands on my hips. I like the feel of this fabric on you, Anastasia, he says, slurring his words. You should always be in satin or silk. He runs his hands up and down my hips, then jerks me forward, pressing his mouth against my belly. And we have an invader in here. I stop breathing. Holy cow, he's talking to Little Blip. You're going to keep me awake, aren't you? He says to my belly. Oh my. Christian looks up at me through his long, dark lashes, gray eyes blurred and cloudy. My heart constricts. You'll choose him over me, he says sadly. Christian, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't be ridiculous. I am not choosing anyone over anyone. And he might be a she. He frowns. A she? Oh, God. He flops back down on the bed and covers his eyes with his arm. I have managed to loosen his tie. I undo one shoelace and yank off his shoe and sock, then the other. When I stand, I see why I've met no resistance. Christian has passed out completely. He's sound asleep and snoring softly. I stare at him. He's so goddamn beautiful, even drunk and snoring. His sculptured lips parted, one arm above his head, ruffling his messy hair, his face relaxed. He looks young, but then he is young. My young, stressed out, drunk, unhappy husband. The thought rests heavily in my heart. Well, at least he's home. I wonder where he went. I'm not sure I have the energy or the strength to move him or undress him any further. He's on top of the duvet, too. Heading back into the great room, I pick up the duvet I was using and bring it back to our bedroom. He's still fast asleep, still wearing his tie and his belt. I climb onto the bed beside him, remove his tie, and gently undo the top button of his shirt. He mumbles something incoherently in his sleep, but he doesn't wake. Carefully, I unbuckle his belt and pull it through the belt loops, and after some difficulty, it's off. His shirt has come dislodged from his pants, revealing a hint of his happy trail. I can't resist. I bend and kiss it. He shifts, flexing his hips forward, but stays asleep. I sit up and gaze at him again. Oh, 50, 50, 50. What am I going to do with you? I brush my fingers through his hair. It's so soft. And kiss his temple. I love you, Christian. Even when you're drunk and you've been out God knows where. I love you. I'll always love you. He murmurs. I kiss his temple once more, then get off the bed and cover him up with the spare duvet. I can sleep beside him, sideways across the bed. Yes, I'll do that. First, I'll sort out his clothes, though. I shake my head and pick up his socks and tie and fold his jacket over my arm. As I do, his BlackBerry falls to the floor. I pick it up and inadvertently unlock it. It opens on the text screen. I can see my text, and above it, another. My scalp prickles. It was good to see you. I understand now. Don't fret. You'll make a wonderful father. It's from her. Mrs. Elena Bitch Troll Robinson. Shit. That's where he went. He's been to see her. Chapter 21. I gape at the text, then look up at the sleeping form of my husband. He's been out until 1:30 in the morning, drinking with her. He snores softly, sleeping the sleep of a seemingly innocent, oblivious drunk. He looks so serene. Oh no. My legs turn to jelly, and I sink slowly to the chair beside the bed in disbelief. Raw, bitter, humiliating betrayal glances through me. How could he? How could he go to her? Scalding, angry tears ooze down my cheeks. His wrath and fear, his need to lash out at me I can understand and forgive. Just. But this treachery is too much. I pull my knees up against my chest and wrap my arms around them, protecting me and protecting my little lip. I rock to and fro, weeping softly. What did I expect? I married this man too quickly. I knew it. I knew it would come to this. Why? 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 How could he do this to me? He knows how I feel about that woman. How could he turn to her? How? The knife twists slowly and painfully deep in my heart, lacerating me. Will it always be this way? Through my tears, his prostrate figure blurs and shimmers. Oh, Christian, I married him because I love him, and deep down, I know that he loves me. I know he does. His achingly sweet birthday present comes to mind. For all our firsts on your first birthday is my beloved wife. I love you. See? No. I cannot believe that it will always be this way. 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. But that's how it's always been with him. After each setback, we move forward, inch by inch. He will come around. He will. But will I? Will I recover from this treachery? I think about how he's been this last horrible, wonderful weekend. His quiet strength while my stepdad lay broken and comatose in the ICU. My surprise party, bringing my family and friends together, dipping me down low outside the Heathman and kissing me in full public view. Oh, Christian, you strain all my trust, all my faith, and I love you. But it's not just me now. I place my hand on my belly. No, I will not let him do this to me and our blip. Dr. Flynn said I should give him the benefit of the doubt. Well, not this time. I dash the tears from my eyes and wipe my nose with the back of my hand. Christian stirs and rolls over, pulling his legs up from the side of the bed and curls up beneath the duvet. He stretches out a hand as if searching for something, then grumbles and frowns, but settles back to sleep, his arm outstretched. Oh, 50. What am I going to do with you? And what the hell were you doing with the bitch troll? I need to know. I glance once more at the offending text and quickly hatch a plan. Taking a deep breath, I forward the text to my BlackBerry. Step 1 complete. I quickly check the other recent texts, but see only messages from Elliot, Andrea, Taylor, Roz, and me. None from Elena. Good. I exit the text screen, relieved that he hasn't been texting her, and my heart lurches into my throat. Oh my. The wallpaper on his phone is photograph upon photograph of me. The patchwork of tiny Anastasias in various poses. Our honeymoon, our recent weekend sailing and soaring, and a few of Jose's photos too. When did he do this? It must have been recently. I notice his email icon, and an idea slithers enticingly into my mind. I could read Christian's emails, see if he's been talking to her. Should I? Sheathed in jade green silk, my inner goddess nods emphatically, her mouth set in a scowl. Before I can stop myself, I invade his privacy. There are hundreds and hundreds of emails. I spin down through them, and they all look dull as ditch water, mostly from Roz, Andrea, and me, and various executives in his company. None from the bitch troll. While I'm at it, I'm relieved to see there are none from Layla either. One email catches my eye. It's from Barney Sullivan, Christian's IT guy, and the subject line is, Jack Hyde. I glance guiltily at Christian, but he's still snoring gently. I've never heard him snore. I open the email. From Barney Sullivan. Subject, Jack Hyde. Date, September 13th, 2011. 14:09. To Christian Gray. CCTV around Seattle tracks the white van from South Irving Street. Before that, I can find no trace, so Hyde must have been based in that area. As Welch has told you, the unsubbed car was rented with a false license by an unknown female, though nothing that ties it to the South Irving Street area. Details of known GEH and SIP employees who live in the area are in the attached file, which I have forwarded to Welch, too. There was nothing on Hyde's SIP computer about his former PAs. As a reminder, here is a list of what was retrieved from Hyde's SIP computer. Gray's home addresses: 5 properties in Seattle, 2 properties in Detroit. Detailed resumes for Eric Gray, Elliot Gray, Christian Gray, Dr. Grace Trevelyan, Anastasia Steele, Mia Gray. Newspaper and online articles relating to Dr. Grace Trevelyan, Eric Gray, Christian Gray, Elliot Gray. Photographs: Eric Gray, Dr. Grace Trevelyan, Christian Gray, Elliot Gray, Mia Gray. I'll continue my investigation, see what else I can find. B. Sullivan, head of IT, GEH. This odd email momentarily sidetracks me from my night of woe. I click on the attachment to check through the names on the list, but it's obviously huge, too big to open on the BlackBerry. What am I doing? It's late. I've had a tiring day. There are no emails from the bitch troll or Layla Williams, and I take some cold comfort from that. I glance quickly at the alarm clock. It's just after 2 in the morning. The day has been a day of revelations. I am to be a mother, and my husband has been fraternizing with the enemy. Well, let him stew. I am not sleeping here with him. He can wake up alone tomorrow. After placing his BlackBerry on the bedside table, I retrieve my purse from beside the bed, and after one last look at my angelic, sleeping Judas, I leave the bedroom. The spare playroom key is in its usual place in the cabinet in the utility room. I grab it and scoot upstairs. From the linen closet, I retrieve a pillow, duvet, and sheet, then unlock the playroom door and enter, switching the lights to dim. Odd that I find the smell and ambiance of this room so comforting, considering I safe-worded the last time we were in here. I lock the door behind me, leaving the key in the lock. I know that tomorrow morning Christian will be frantic to find me, and I don't think he'll look in here if the door is locked. Well, it will serve him right. I curl up on the Chesterfield couch, wrap myself in the duvet, and drag my BlackBerry from my purse. Checking my texts, I find the one from the evil bitch troll that I forwarded from Christian's phone. I press forward and type. Would you like Mrs. Lincoln to join us when we eventually discuss this text she sent to you? It will save you running to her afterward. Your wife. I press send and switch the volume to mute. I huddle under my duvet. For all my bravado, I'm overwhelmed by the enormity of Christian's deceit. This should be a happy time. Geez, we're going to be parents. Briefly, I relive telling Christian that I'm pregnant, and fantasize that he falls to his knees with joy in front of me, pulling me into his arms and telling me how much he loves me and our little blip. Yet, here I am, alone and cold in a BDSM fantasy playroom. Suddenly, I feel old, older than my years. Taking on Christian was always going to be a challenge, but he really has surpassed himself this time. What was he thinking? Well, if he wants a fight, I'll give him a fight. No way am I going to let him get away with running off to see that monstrous woman because I'm so exhausted. I soon fall asleep. I wake with a start, momentarily disoriented. Oh yes, I'm in the place. Because there are no windows, I have no idea what time it is. The door handle rattles. Christian shouts from outside the door. I freeze, but he doesn't come in. I hear muffled voices, but they move away. I exhale and check the time on my BlackBerry. It's 7:50, and I have 4 missed calls and 2 voice messages. The missed calls are mostly from Christian, but there's also one from Kate. Oh no, he must have called her. I don't have time to listen to them. I don't want to be late for work. I wrap the duvet around me and pick up my purse before making my way to the door. Unlocking it slowly, I peek outside. No sign of anyone. Oh shit. Perhaps this is a bit melodramatic. I roll my eyes at myself, take a deep breath, and head downstairs. Taylor, Sawyer, Ryan, Mrs. Jones, and Christian are all standing in the entrance to the great room, and Christian is issuing rapid-fire instructions. As one, they all turn and gape at me. Christian is still wearing the clothes he slept in last night. He looks disheveled, pale, and heart-stoppingly beautiful. His large gray eyes are wide, and I don't know if he's fearful or angry. It's difficult to tell. Sawyer, I'll be ready to leave in about 20 minutes, I mutter, wrapping the duvet tighter around me for protection. He nods, and all eyes turn to Christian, who is still staring intensely at me. Would you like some breakfast, Mrs. Gray? Mrs. Jones asks. I shake my head. I'm not hungry, thank you. She purses her lips, but says nothing. Where were you? Christian asks, his voice low and husky. Suddenly, Sawyer, Taylor, Ryan, and Mrs. Jones scatter, scurrying into Taylor's office, into the foyer, and into the kitchen like terrified rats from a sinking ship. I ignore Christian and march toward our bedroom. Anna, he calls after me. Answer me. I hear his footsteps behind me as I walk into the bedroom and continue into our bathroom. Quickly, I lock the door. Anna! Christian pounds on the door. I turn on the shower. The door rattles. Anna, open the damn door. Go away. I'm not going anywhere. Suit yourself. Anna, please. I climb into the shower, effectively blocking him out. Oh, it's warm. The healing water cascades over me, cleansing the exhaustion of the night off my skin. Oh my, this feels so good. For a moment, for one short moment, I can pretend all is well. I wash my hair, and by the time I finish, I feel better, stronger, ready to face the freight train that is Christian Grey. I wrap my hair in a towel, briskly dry myself with another towel, and wrap it around me. I unlock the door and open it to find Christian leaning against the wall opposite, his hands behind his back. His expression is wary, that of a hunted predator. I stride past him and into our walk-in closet. Are you ignoring me? Christian asks in disbelief as he stands on the threshold of the closet. Perceptive, aren't you? I murmur absent-mindedly as I search for something to wear. Ah, yes, my plum dress. I slide it off the hanger, choose my high black stiletto boots, and head for the bedroom. I pause for Christian to step out of my way, which he does, eventually, his intrinsic good manners taking over. I sense his eyes boring into me as I walk over to my chest of drawers, and I peek at him in the mirror, standing motionless in the doorway, watching me. In an act worthy of an Oscar winner, I let my towel fall to the floor and pretend that I am oblivious to my naked body. I hear his restrained gasp and ignore it. Why are you doing this? He asks, his voice low. Why do you think? My voice is velvet soft as I pull out a pretty pair of black lace Laperla panties. Anna. He stops as I shimmy into them. Go ask your Mrs. Robinson. I'm sure she'll have an explanation for you. I mutter as I search for the matching bra. Anna, I've told you before, she's not mine. I don't want to hear it, Christian. I wave my hand dismissively. The time for talking was yesterday, but instead, you decided to rant and get drunk with the woman who abused you for years. Give her a call. I'm sure she'll be more than willing to listen to you now. I find the matching bra and slowly pull it on and fasten it. Christian walks farther into the bedroom and places his hands on his hips. Why were you snooping on me? He says. In spite of my resolve, I flush. That's not the point, Christian. I snap at him. Fact is, the going gets tough, and you run to her. His mouth settles into a grim line. It wasn't like that. I'm not interested. Picking a pair of black thigh-highs with lacy tops, I retreat to the bed. I sit, point my toe, and gently ease the gossamer material up to my thigh. Where were you? He asks, his eyes following my hands up my legs. But I continue to ignore him as I slowly roll on the other stocking. Standing, I bend to towel dry my hair. Through my parted thighs, I can see his bare feet, and I sense his intense gaze. When I've finished, I stand and step back to the chest of drawers, where I grab my hairdryer. Answer me. Christian's voice is low and husky. I switch on the hairdryer so I can no longer hear him, and watch him through my lashes in the mirror as I finger dry my hair. He glares at me, eyes narrow and cool, chilling even. I look away, focusing on the task at hand and trying to suppress the shiver that runs through me. I swallow hard and concentrate on drying my hair. He's still mad. He goes out with that damned woman, and he's mad at me? How dare he? When my hair looks wild and untamed, I stop. Yes, I like it. I switch off the hairdryer. Where? He whispers, his tone arctic. What do you care? Anna, stop this, now. I shrug, and Christian moves quickly across the room toward me. I whirl around, stepping back as he reaches out. Don't touch me, I snap, and he freezes. Where were you? He demands, his hands fist at his side. I wasn't out getting drunk with my ex, I seethe. Did you sleep with her? He gasps. What? No. He gapes at me and has the gall to look wounded and angry at the same time. My subconscious breathes a small, welcome sigh of relief. You think I'd cheat on you? His tone is one of moral outrage. You did, I snarl, by taking our very private life and spilling your spineless guts to that woman. His mouth drops open. Righteous. That's what you think. His eyes glaze. Christian, I saw the text. That's what I know. That text was not meant for you, he growls. Well, fact is, I saw it when your BlackBerry fell out of your jacket while I was undressing you because you were too drunk to undress yourself. Do you have any idea how much you've hurt me by going to see that woman? He pales momentarily, but I'm on a roll, my inner bitch unleashed. Do you remember last night when you came home? Remember what you said? He stares at me blankly, his face frozen. Well, you were right. I do choose this defenseless baby over you. That's what any loving parent does. That's what your mother should have done for you. And I am sorry that she didn't, because we wouldn't be having this conversation right now if she had. But you're an adult now. You need to grow up and smell the fucking coffee and stop behaving like a petulant adolescent. You may not be happy about this, baby. I'm not ecstatic, given the timing and your less than lukewarm reception to this new life, this flesh of your flesh, but you can either do this with me, or I'll do it on my own. The decision is yours. While you wallow in your pit of self-pity and self-loathing, I'm going to work, and when I return, I'll be moving my belongings to the room upstairs. He blinks at me, shocked. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to finish getting dressed. I am breathing hard. Very slowly, Christian retreats one step, his demeanor hardening. Is that what you want? He whispers. I don't know what I want anymore. My tone mirrors his, and it takes a monumental effort to feign disinterest while I casually dip the tips of my fingers into my moisturizer and smooth it gently over my face. I peer at myself in the mirror, blue eyes wide, face pale but cheeks flushed. You're doing great. Don't back down now. Don't back down now. You don't want me? He whispers. Oh, no. Oh, no, you don't, Gray. I'm still here, aren't I? I snap. Taking my mascara, I apply some first to my right eye. You've thought about leaving? His words are barely audible. When one's husband prefers the company of his ex-mistress, it's usually not a good sign. I pitch the disdain at just the right level, evading his question. Lip gloss now. I pout my shiny lips at the image in the mirror. Stay strong, Steel. Gray. Holy fuck. I can't even remember my name. I pick up my boots, stride over to the bed once more, and quickly put them on, tucking them up over my knees. Yep, I look hot just in underwear and boots. I know. Standing, I gaze dispassionately at him. He blinks at me, and his eyes travel swiftly and greedily down my body. I know what you're doing here, he murmurs, and his voice has acquired a warm, seductive edge. Do you? And my voice cracks. No, Anna, hold on. He swallows and takes a step forward. I step back and hold my hands up. Don't even think about it, Ray. I whisper menacingly. You're my wife, he says softly, crushingly. I'm the pregnant woman you abandoned yesterday, and if you touch me, I will scream the place down. His eyebrows rise in disbelief. Scream? Bloody murder. I narrow my eyes. No one would hear you, he murmurs, his gaze intense. And briefly, I'm reminded of our morning in Aspen. No. Are you trying to frighten me? I mutter, breathless, deliberately trying to derail him. It works. He stills and swallows. That wasn't my intention. He frowns. I can barely breathe. If he touches me, I will succumb. I know the power he wields over me and over my traitorous body. I know. I hang on to my anger. I had a drink with someone I used to be close to. We cleared the air. I am not going to see her again. You sought her out? Not at first. I tried to see Flynn, but found myself in the salon. And you expect me to believe you're not going to see her again? I cannot contain my fury as I hiss at him. What about the next time I step across some imaginary line? This is the same argument we have over and over again, like we're on some Ixion's wheel. If I fuck up again, are you going to run back to her? I am not going to see her again, he says with a chilling finality. She finally understands how I feel. I blink at him. What does that mean? He straightens and runs a hand through his hair, exasperated and angry and mute. I try a different tack. Why can you talk to her and not to me? I was mad at you, like I am now. You don't say, I snap. Well, I am mad at you right now. Mad at you for being so cold and callous yesterday when I needed you. Mad at you for saying I got knocked up deliberately when I didn't. Mad at you for betraying me. I managed to suppress a sob. His mouth drops open in shock, and he closes his eyes briefly as if I'd slapped him. I swallow. Calm down, Anastasia. I should have kept better track of my shots, but I didn't do it on purpose. This pregnancy is a shock to me, too. I mutter, trying for a modicum of civility. It could be that the shot failed. He glares at me, silent. You really fucked up yesterday, I whisper, my anger boiling over. I've had a lot to deal with over the last few weeks. You really fucked up 3 or 4 weeks ago, or whenever you forgot your shot. Well, God forbid I should be perfect like you. Oh, stop. Stop. We stand glowering at each other. This is quite a performance, Mrs. Gray. He whispers. Well, I'm glad that even knocked up, I'm entertaining. He stares at me blankly. I need a shower, he murmurs. And I've provided enough of a floor show. It's a mighty fine floor show, he whispers. He steps forward, and I step back again. Don't. I hate that you won't let me touch you. Ironic, huh? His eyes narrow once more. We haven't resolved much, have we? I'd say not, except that I'm moving out of this bedroom. His eyes flare and widen briefly. She doesn't mean anything to me, except when you need her. I don't need her. I need you. You didn't yesterday. That woman is a hard limit for me, Christian. She's out of my life. I wish I could believe you. For fuck's sake, Anna. Please, let me get dressed. He sighs and runs a hand through his hair once more. I'll see you this evening. He says, his voice bleak and devoid of feeling. And for a brief moment, I want to take him in my arms and soothe him. But I resist because I'm just too mad. He turns and heads for the bathroom. I stand frozen until I hear the door close. I stagger to the bed and flop down on it. I did not resort to tears, shouting, or murder, nor did I succumb to his expertise. I deserve a Congressional Medal of Honor, but I feel so low. We resolved nothing. We're on the edge of a precipice. Is our marriage at stake here? Why can't he see what a complete and utter ass he's been by running to that woman? And what does he mean when he says he'll never see her again? How on earth am I supposed to believe that? I glance at the radio alarm. 8:30. Shit. I don't want to be late. I take a deep breath. Round 2 was a stalemate, little blip. I whisper, patting my belly. Daddy may be a lost cause, but I hope not. Why, oh why did you come so early, little blip? Things were just getting good. My lip trembles, but I take a deep, cleansing breath and bring my rolling emotions under control. Come on, let's go kick ass at work. I don't say goodbye to Christian. He's still in the shower when Sawyer and I leave. As I gaze out the darkened windows of the SUV, my composure slips and my eyes water. My mood is reflected in the gray, dreary sky, and I feel a strange sense of foreboding. We didn't actually discuss the baby. I have had less than 24 hours to assimilate the news of Little Blip. Christian has had even less time.
I will fight you. I've watched football.
He doesn't even know your name.
At least since like 1980.
I caress my belly and wipe tears from my face.
But I could tell
This
you.
is Greg. Sawyer interrupts my reverie. We're here.
But even like modern day,
Thanks,
I
Sawyer.
just don't consider like.
I'm going to make a
There's
run to
never
the
been
deli
a
man.
1, 2, 3
Can I get you
combination.
anything? No, thank you, no. I'm not hungry. Hannah has my latte waiting for me. I take one sniff of it and my stomach roils. Can I have tea, please? I mutter, embarrassed. I knew there was a reason I never really liked coffee. Jeez, it smells foul. You okay, Anna? I nod and scurry into the safety of my office. My BlackBerry buzzes. It's Kate. Why was Christian looking for you? She asks with no preamble at all. Good morning, Kate. How are you? Cut the crap, Steele. What gives? The Catherine Kavanaugh Inquisition begins. Christian and I had a fight, that's all. Did he hurt you? I roll my eyes. Yes, but not the way you're thinking. I can't deal with Kate at the moment. I know I will cry, and right now, I am so proud of myself for not breaking down this morning. Kate, I have a meeting. I'll call you back. Good. You're all right? Yes. No. I'll call you later, okay? Okay, Anna. Have it your own way. I'm here for you. I know. I whisper and fight the backlash of emotion at her kind words. I am not going to cry. I am not going to cry. Are you okay? Yes. I whisper the word. Oh, Anna, she whispers. Don't. Okay. Talk later. Yes. During the course of the morning, I sporadically check my emails, hoping for word from Christian. But there's nothing. As the day wears on, I realize that he's not going to contact me at all, and that he's still mad. Well, I'm still mad too. I throw myself into my work. pausing only at lunchtime for a cream cheese and salmon bagel. It's extraordinary how much better I feel once I've eaten something.
Jimmy Jones.
At 5 o'clock, Sawyer and I set off for the hospital to see Ray. Sawyer is extra vigilant and even over-solicitous. It's irritating. As we approach Ray's room, he hovers over me. "Shall I get you some tea while you visit with your father?" he asks. "No thanks, Sawyer. I'll be fine. I'll wait outside." He opens the door for me, and I'm grateful to get away from him for a moment. Ray is sitting up in bed, reading a magazine. He's shaved, wearing a pajama top. He looks like his old self. "Hey, Nanny." He grins, and his face falls. "Oh, Daddy?" I rush to his side, and in a very uncharacteristic move, he opens his arms wide and hugs me. "Annie? Annie?" he whispers. "What is it?" He holds me tight and kisses my hair. As I'm in his arms, I realize how rare these moments between us have been. Why is that? Is that why I like to crawl into Christian's lap? After a moment, I pull away from him and sit down in the chair beside the bed. Ray's brow is furrowed with concern. "Tell your old man." I shake my head. He doesn't need my problems right now. "It's nothing, Dad. You look well." I clasp his hand. "Feeling more like myself. Oh, this leg in a cast is bitchin'." "Bitchin'?" His word prompts my smile. He smiles back. "Bitchin' sounds better than itchin'." "Oh, Dad, I am so glad you're okay." "Me too, Annie. I'd like to bounce some grandchildren on this bitchin' knee one day. Wouldn't want to miss that for the world." I blink at him. Shit, does he know? And I fight the tears that prick the corners of my eyes. "You and Christian getting along?" "We had a fight," I whisper, trying to speak past the knot in my throat. "We'll work it out." He nods. "He's a fine man, your husband," Ray says reassuringly. "He has his moments. What did the doctors say?" I don't want to talk about my husband right now. He's a painful topic of conversation. Back at Escala, Christian is not home. Christian called and said that he'd be working late. Mrs. Jones informs me apologetically. "Oh, thanks for letting me know. Why couldn't he tell me? Jeez, he really is taking his soul to a whole new level." I am briefly reminded of the fight over our wedding vows and the major tantrum he had then. But I'm the aggrieved one here. What would you like to see? Mrs. Jones has a determined, steely glint in her eye. "Pasta." She smiles. "Spaghetti? Penne? Fusilli?" "Spaghetti, your bolognese." "Coming up." And Anna, you should know, Mr. Gray was frantic this morning when he thought you'd left. He was beside himself. She smiles fondly.
Josh Denton, funnily enough, talking about Neanderthals.
He's still not home by 9. I am sitting at my desk in the library, wondering where he is. I call him. "Anna," he says, his voice cool. "Hi." He inhales softly. "Hi," he says, his voice lower. "Are you coming home?" "Later." "Are you in the office?" "Yes." "Where did you expect me to be?" "With her." "I'll let you go." We both hang on the line, the silence stretching and tightening between us. "Good night, Anna," he says eventually. "Good night, Christian." He hangs up. Oh, shit. I gaze at my BlackBerry. I don't know what he expects me to do. I'm not going to let him walk all over me. Yes, he's mad. Fair enough. I'm mad. But we are where we are. I haven't run off loose-lipped to my ex-pedo lover. I want him to acknowledge that that is not an acceptable way to behave. I sit back in my chair, gazing at the billiards table in the library, and recall fun times playing snooker. I place my hand on my belly. Maybe it's just too early. Maybe this is not meant to be. And even as I think that, my subconscious is screaming, no! If I terminate this pregnancy, I will never forgive myself or Christian. Oh, Lip, what have you done to us? I can't face talking to Kate. I can't face talking to anyone. I text her, promising to call soon. By 11, I can no longer keep my eyelids open. Resigned, I head up to my old room. Curling up beneath the duvet, I finally let myself go, sobbing into my pillow. Great, heaving, unladylike sobs of grief. My head is heavy when I wake. Crisp fall light shines through the great windows of my room. Glancing at my alarm, I see it's 7:30. My immediate thought is, where's Christian? I sit up and swing my legs out of bed. On the floor beside the bed is Christian's silver gray tie, my favorite. It wasn't there when I went to bed last night. I pick it up and stare at it, caressing the silky material between my thumbs and forefingers, then hug it against my cheek. He was here, watching me sleep, and a glimmer of hope sparks deep inside me. Mrs. Jones is busy in the kitchen when I arrive downstairs. Good morning, she says brightly. Morning, Christian? I ask. Her face falls. He's already left. So he did come home. I need to check, even though I have his tie as evidence. He did. She pauses. Anna, please forgive me for speaking out of turn, but don't give up on him. He's a stubborn man. I nod and she stops. I'm sure my expression tells her I do not want to discuss my errant husband right now. When I arrive at work, I check my emails. My heart leaps into overdrive when I see there's one from Christian. From Christian Gray. Subject, Portland. Date, September 15th, 2011. 6:45. To Anastasia Gray. Anna, I am flying down to Portland today. I have some business to conclude with WSU. I thought you would want to know. Christian Gray, CEO, Gray Enterprises Holdings, Inc. Oh, tears prick my eyes. That's it? My stomach flips. Shit, I am going sick. I race to the powder room and make it just in time, depositing my breakfast into the toilet. I sink to the floor of the cubicle and put my head in my hands. Could I be any more miserable? After a while, there's a gentle knock on the door. Anna? It's Hannah. Fuck. Yes. Are you okay? I'll be out in a moment. Boys, Fox is here to see you. Shit. Show him into the meeting room. I'll be there in a minute. Do you want some tea? Please.
Lots to look forward to.
After my lunch, another cream cheese and salmon bagel, which I managed to keep down. I sit staring listlessly at my computer, looking for inspiration and wondering how Christian and I are going to resolve this huge problem. My BlackBerry buzzes, making me jump. I glance at the screen. It's Mia. Geez, that's all I need. Her gushing and enthusiasm. I hesitate, wondering if I could just ignore it, but courtesy wins out. Mia, I answer brightly. Well, hello there, Anna. Long time no speak. The male voice is familiar. Fuck. My scalp prickles, and all the hair on my body stands to attention as adrenaline floods through my system and my world stops spinning. It's Jack Hyde.
God damn it.
Chapter 22.
Yoshi.
Jack! My voice has disappeared, choked by fear. How is he out of jail? Why does he have Mia's phone? The blood drains from my face and I feel dizzy. You do remember me, he says, his tone soft. I sense his bitter smile. Yes, of course. My answer is automatic as my mind races. You're probably wondering why I called you. Yes. Hang up. Don't hang up. I've been having a chat with your little sister-in-law. What?
Byzantine
Mia?
Empire?
No.
Part 4.
What have you done? I whisper, trying to quell my fear. Listen here, you prick-teasing, gold-digging whore. You fucked up my life. Gray fucked up my life. You owe me. I have the little bitch with me now. And you, that cocksucker you married, and his whole fucking family are going to pay. Hyde's contempt and bile shocked me. His family? What the hell? What do you want? I want his money. I really want his fucking money. If things had been different, it could have been me. So you're going to get it for me. I want $5 million today. Jack, I don't have access to that kind of money. He snorts his derision. You have 2 hours to get it. That's it. 2 hours. Tell no one, or this little bitch gets it. Not the cops, not your prick of a husband, not his security team. I will know if you do. Understand? He pauses, and I try to respond. The panic and fear seal my throat. You understand? He shouts. Yes, I whisper, or I will kill her. I gasp. Keep your phone with you. Tell no one or I'll fuck her up before I kill her. You have 2 hours. Jack, I need longer. 3 hours. How do I know that you have her? The line goes dead. I gape in horror at the phone. My mouth parched with fear, leaving the nasty metallic taste of terror. Mia. He has Mia. Or does he? My mind whirs at the obscene possibility and my stomach roils again. I think I'm going to be sick. But I inhale deeply, trying to steady my panic, and the nausea passes. My mind rockets through the possibilities. Tell Christian? Tell Taylor? Call the police? How will Jack know? Does he actually have Mia? I need time. Time to think. But I can accomplish that only by following his instructions. I grab my purse and head for the door. Hannah, I have to go out. I am not sure how long I'll be. Cancel my appointments this afternoon. Let Elizabeth know I have to deal with an emergency. Sure, Anna. Everything okay? Anna frowns, concern etched on her face as she watches me flee. Yes, I call back distractedly, hurrying toward reception where Sawyer is waiting. Sawyer, he leaps up from the armchair at the sound of my voice and frowns when he sees my face. I'm not feeling well. Please take me home. Sure, ma'am. Do you want to wait here while I get the car? No, I'll come with you. I'm in a hurry to get home. I gaze out the window in stark terror as I go over my plan. Get home, change, find a checkbook, escape from Ryan and Sawyer somehow, go to bank. Hell, how much room does $5 million take up? What will it weigh? Will I need a suitcase? Should I telephone the bank in advance? Mia, what if he doesn't have Mia? How can I check? If I call Grace, it will raise her suspicions and possibly endanger Mia. He said he would know. I glance at the back window of the SUV. Am I being followed? My heart races as I examine the cars following us. They look innocuous enough. Oh, Sawyer, drive faster, please. My eyes flicker to meet his in the rearview mirror, and his brow creases. Sawyer presses a button on his Bluetooth headset to answer a call. Gee, I wanted to let you know Mrs. Gray is with me. Sawyer's eyes meet mine once more before he looks back at the road and continues. She's unwell. I'm taking her back to Escala. I see. Sorry. Sawyer's eyes flick from the road to mine in the rearview mirror again. Yes, he agrees and hangs up. Taylor? I whisper. He nods. He's with Mr. Gray? Yes, ma'am. Sawyer's look softens in sympathy. Are they still in Portland? Yes, ma'am. Good. I have to keep Christian safe. My hand strays down to my belly and I rub it consciously. And you, little blip, keep you both safe. Can we hurry, please? I'm not feeling well. Yes, ma'am.
Basil also
Sawyer
made
presses the
reforms
accelerator and our car
that
glides
played
through the
show
traffic.
obsequiousness towards the nobles.
Mrs. Jones is nowhere to be seen when Sawyer and I arrive at the apartment. Since her car is missing from the garage, I assume she's running errands with Ryan. Sawyer heads for Taylor's office while I bolt to Christian's study. Stumbling in panic around his desk, I wrench open the drawer to find the checkbooks. Layla's gun slides forward into view. I feel an incongruous twinge of annoyance that Christian has not secured this weapon. He knows nothing about guns. Jeez, he could get hurt. After a moment's hesitation, I grab the pistol, check to ensure it's loaded, and tuck it into the waistband of my black slacks. I may need it. I swallow hard. I've only ever practiced on targets. I've never fired a gun at anyone. I hope Ray will forgive me. I turn my attention to tracking down the right checkbook. There are 5, and only one is in the names of C. Gray and Mrs. A. Gray. I have about $54,000 in my own account. I have no idea how much money is in this one. But Christian must be good for $5 million, surely. Perhaps there is money in the safe? Crap, I have no idea of the number. Didn't he mention the combination was in his filing cabinet? I try the cabinet, but it's locked. Shit. I'll have to stick to plan A. I take a deep breath and, in a more composed but determined manner, stride to our bedroom. The bed has been made, and for a moment, I feel a pang. Perhaps I should have slept here last night. What is the point of arguing with someone who, by their own admission, is 50 shades? He's not even talking to me now. No, I do not have time to think about this. Quickly, I change out of my slacks, pulling on jeans, a hooded sweatshirt, and a pair of sneakers, and put the gun in the waistband of my jeans at my back. From the closet, I fish out a large, soft duffel bag. Will $5 million fit into this? Christian's gym bag is lying there on the floor. I open it, expecting to find it full of dirty laundry. But no, his gym kit is clean and fresh. Mrs. Jones does indeed get everywhere. I dump the contents onto the floor and stuff his gym bag into my duffel. There. That should do it. I check that I have my driver's license as identification for the bank and check the time. It's been 31 minutes since Jack called. Now I just have to get out of Escala without Sawyer seeing me. I make my way slowly and quietly to the foyer, aware of the CCTV camera, which is trained on the elevator. I think Sawyer's still in Taylor's office. Cautiously, I open the foyer door, making as little noise as possible. Shutting it quietly behind me, I stand on the very threshold, up against the door, out of the view of the CCTV lens. I fish my cell phone out of my purse and call Sawyer. Mrs. Gray. Sawyer, I'm in the room upstairs. Will you give me a hand with something? I keep my voice low, knowing he's just down the hallway on the other side of the door. I'll be right with you, ma'am, he says. And I hear his confusion. I've never telephoned him for help before. My heart is in my throat, pounding in a jarring, frenetic rhythm. Will this work? I hang up and listen as his footsteps cross the hallway and go up the stairs. I take a deep step. Sawyer's reached the upstairs landing. I run to the elevator and punch the call button. The door slide open too loud that announces the elevator is. I push it as the doors slowly start to slide shut, and as they do, I hear Sawyer's cries. Mrs. Gray! Just as the elevator doors close, I see him skid into the foyer. Anna! He shouts in disbelief. But he's too late, and he disappears from view. The elevator sinks smoothly down to the garage level. I have a couple of minutes start on Sawyer, and I know he'll try to stop me. I glance longingly at my R8 as I rush to the side, open the door, toss the duffel bag onto the passenger seat, and slide into the driver's seat. I start the car and the tires squeal as I race to the entrance and wait 11 agonizing seconds for the barrier to lift. The instant it's clear, I drive out, catching sight of Sawyer in my rearview mirror as he dashes out of the service elevator into the garage. His bewildered, injured expression haunts me as I turn off the ramp onto 4th Avenue. I let out my long-held breath. I know Sawyer will call Christian or Taylor, but I'll deal with that when I have to. I don't have time to dwell on it now. I squirm uncomfortably in my seat, knowing in my heart of hearts that Sawyer's probably lost his job. Don't dwell. I have to save Mia. I have to get to the bank and collect $5 million. I glance in the rearview mirror, nervously anticipating the sight of the SUV bursting forth from the garage. But as I drive away, there is no sign of Sawyer. The bank is sleek, modern, and understated. There are hushed tones, echoing floors, and pale green etched glass everywhere. I stride to the information desk. May I help you, ma'am? The young woman gives me a bright, insincere smile, and for a moment, I regret changing into jeans. I'd like to withdraw a large sum of money. This insincere smile arches an even more insincere eyebrow. You have an account with us? She fails to hide her sarcasm. Yes, I snap. My husband and I have several accounts here. His name is Christian Gray. Her eyes widen fractionally, and insincerity gives way to shock. Her eyes sweep up and down me once more, this time with a combination of disbelief and awe. She asks pleasantly, $5 million. I look her straight in the eye as if I ask for this amount of cash every day. She blanches. I see. That's the manager. Oh, forgive me for asking, but do you have ideas? I do, but I'd like to speak to the manager. Of course, Mrs. Gray. She scurries out. I sink into the seat, and a wave of nausea washes over me as the gun presses uncomfortably into the small of my back. Not now. I can't be sick now. I take a deep, cleansing breath, and the wave passes. Nervously, I check my watch. 2:25. A middle-aged man enters the room. He has a receding hairline, but wears a sharp, expensive charcoal suit and matching tie. He holds out his hand. Mrs. Gray, I'm Troy Whelan. He smiles, we shake, and he sits down at the desk opposite me. My colleague tells me you'd like to withdraw a large amount of money. That's correct. $5 million. He turns to his sleek computer and taps in a few numbers. We normally ask for some notice for large amounts of money. He pauses and flashes me a reassuring but supercilious smile. Fortunately, however, we hold the cash reserved for the entire Pacific Northwest. He boasts. Geez, is he trying to impress me? Mr. Whelan, I'm in a hurry. What do I need to do? I have my driver's license off to a serious banker. Here, I hand over my license. Mrs. Gray, this says Anastasia Steele. Oh, yes. I'll call Mr. Gray. Oh no, that won't be. Pull out my wallet, open it, and find a photograph of Christian and me. On the bed in Fair Lady's cabin. Whelan reads. Yes, that should do. He frowns. This is there. He pauses, momentarily reassessing me, I think. You'll need to write a check for this account? I show him my checkbook, trying to quell my... Fine. I'll also need you to complete some additional paperwork. If you'll excuse me for a moment. I nod, and he rises and stalks out of the office. Again, I release my held breath. I had no idea this would be so difficult. Clumsily, I open my checkbook and pull a pen out of my purse. Do I just make it out to cash? I have no idea. With shaking fingers, I write $5 million. 5,000,000. Oh God, I hope I'm doing the right thing. Mia, think of Mia. I can't tell anyone. Jack's chilling, repugnant words haunt me. Tell no one, or I'll fuck her up before I kill her. Mr. Whelan returns, pale-faced and sheepish. Mrs. Gray, your husband wants to speak with you. He murmurs and points to the phone on the glass table between us. What? No. He's on line 1. Just press the button. I'll be outside. He has the grace to look embarrassed. Benedict Arnold has nothing on Whelan. I scowl at him, feeling the blood drain from my face again as he shuffles out of the office. Shit. What am I going to say to Christian? He'll know. He'll intervene. He's a danger to his sister. My hand. You're leaving me. Christian's words are an agonized, breathless whisper. What? No! My voice mirrors his. Oh no. Oh no. How can he think that? The money? He thinks I'm going because of the money? And in a moment of horrific clarity, I realize the only way I'm going to keep Christian at arm's length, out of harm's way, and save his sister, is I whisper, and searing pain lances through me, tears springing to my eyes. He gasps, almost a sob. Anna, he chokes. No! My hand clutches my mouth as I stifle my warring emotions. Christian, please, don't. I fight back tears. You're going? He says. Yes. But why the cash? Was it always the money? His tortured voice is barely audible. No! Tears roll down my face. No, I whisper. Is $5 million enough? Oh, please, stop. Yes. And the baby. His voice is a breathless echo. What? My hand moves from my mouth to my belly. I'll take care of the baby, I murmur. He inhales sharply. Take it all, he hisses. Christian, I sob. It's for you, for your family. Please, don't. Take it all, Anastasia. Christian! And I nearly cave, nearly tell him about Jack, about Mia, about the ransom. Silently beg him. I'll always love you. His voice is hoarse. He hangs up. Christian! No! I love you too! And all of the stupid shit that we put each other through over the last few days fades into insignificance. I promised I'd never leave him. I am not leaving you. I am saving your sister. I slump into the chair, weeping copiously into my hands. I am interrupted by a timid knock on the door. Whelan enters, though I haven't acknowledged him. He looks everywhere but at me. He is mortified. You called him, bastard. I glare at him. Your husband has agreed to liquidate $5 million worth of his assets, Mrs. Gray. This is highly irregular, but as our main client, he was insistent, very insistent. He pauses and flushes, insistent, very insistent. He pauses and flushes, then turns at me, and I don't know if it's because Christian. Do I look all right? I snap. I'm sorry, ma'am. Some water? I nod sullenly. Left, my husband. Well, Christian thinks I have. My subconscious lips. Because you told him so. I'll have my colleague bring you some while I prepare the money. If you could just sign here, ma'am, and make the check out to cash, and sign it too. He places a form on the table. I scrawl my signature along the dotted line of the check, then the form. Anastasia. It will take us about half an hour to prepare the money. I quickly check my watch. Jack said 2 hours. That should take. Jack said 2 hours. That should take us to 2 hours. I nod to Whelan and he tiptoes out of the office, leaving me to my misery. I take the glass and drink gratefully. She exits, leaving me with my jumbled, frightened thoughts. I will fix things with Christian
Alexios
somehow.
was a good
If it's
emperor,
not too late.
and maybe things could
At
have
least
turned
he's out of the
a lot
picture.
worse if luck
Right now, I have to
decided.
concentrate on
But
Mia.
if he was, then it doesn't
Suppose
matter.
Jack is
His
lying.
legacy is
Suppose he
still
doesn't have her. Surely I
A
should
lot of
call
what
the
we know
police.
about
Tell no
Alexios
one,
is
or
to be
I'll
found
fuck
in
her
a
up
text called
before I kill her.
Alexia, which was
I
written
can't.
by his very
I
own
sit back in the
daughter.
chair, feeling the reassuring presence of Layla's piss
He
at
was a
my
highly
waist,
educated,
digging into my
powerful
back.
woman, and her
Why would you
Who
get
would have
my
thought
friend?
I'd ever feel grateful
friend
if Layla
said,
once
like, the
pulled a gun
doc-
on me?
The doctor,
Oh, Ray,
that's why
I'm so glad you taught me how to shoot.
the doctor,
Ray, expecting me to visit this evening. Perhaps I can simply dump the money with Jack. He can run while I take Mia home. Oh, this sounds absurd. My BlackBerry jumps to life. Your love is king, filling the room. Oh no. What does Christian want? To twist the knife in my wounds? Was it always the money? Oh, Christian, how could you think that? Anger flares in my gut. Yes.